In five, four, three, two, and one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Open Door Podcast. I'm your boy, I'm your friend. I'm the one who got the glasses on with the polo hat backwards with the shorts on because it's 80 degrees outside. Phaizon Myles, and I'm here with my fellow brothers and co-hosts who hopefully have a nickname for themselves now.
No intro because I am the intro. It's your boy, Myles.
That is an intro. Go ahead. And we have,
Your boy Kevo, hoodie season.
okay, we're going to work on Kevos.
Hoodie season, bro.
Hoodie
I'm
season
locked in.
the springtime.
I'm locked in. That's what it means. I'm locked in.
Medea told me I'm giving you Paris in springtime. You're giving me Antarctica in April. All right. Anywho, let's let's just get on with the discussion at hand. Miles, go ahead. What you got? What's our warm-up question?
So our warm-up question is: what is the longest game that you all have played, or the game that's held your interest the most? That's really a better question.
I'm gonna go with my favorite game, and I will down across with this one. Burn me at the stake. I don't give a damn. Grand Theft Auto 4. I feel like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is the favorite Grand Theft Auto, but my personal favorite is Grand Theft Auto 4. And at that time, I think it's like 108 missions to that. And that Russian Nico Bellic kept me intrigued the entire time, listening to Arab Money on whatever hot 92.3 radio station that was, and that Freddie Jackson. So that was my game that kept me the longest because I don't think I had the game, so I had to keep on renting the game.
From Blockbusters.
From Blockbuster, yeah. So I had to keep on renting it. It had to just save it on my Xbox 360 I had at the time, and just had to make sure no one deleted it. And every other Friday, I tell Nana, can we go to Blockbuster so I can go ahead and rent it out again and do about 4 more missions.
And don't let you have a late fee on Blockbuster.
Man, what?
They gonna wax.
That $5 add up.
Quickly, and you add up. You
Might as well buy the game.
Right. So, but you know when you go to GameStop and you under 18, my mom, she never cared. So me and Nana had to go GameStop. And they're like, it has murder, gore, violence, sexual nudity, prostitutes, paying drugs. I'm like, dang, dog, you ain't got to say everything. But that's Grand Theft Auto though. But
It wasn't E for everyone, either.
Right, but like,
E for everyone.
you had to say all that in front of Nana. My Nana love you, Nana. She's just very holy, and so she hear that and her grandson's playing that. She thinks that I'm destroying my mind. I wasn't. I was just over there trying to be
Expand your mind.
Expand my mind.
Prostitutions and gore. I get it. What about you, Kevin?
I would say, I know I said off mic that it was Final Fantasy, but I had to go back and think. You ever played Ratchet and Clank on the PS2?
That's classic right
Bro,
there.
that is the longest game ever. But you will play it every single day because it was just so fun to play. But yeah, that was probably the longest game.
See, I will have to counteract your statement with Red Dead.
One or
Red
two.
Dead, hey,
One or
Red
two.
Dead is a long.
Okay.
2 is definitely the longest game you can ever play.
But it holds your attention though too.
You'll be roaming around on that horse forever.
Because a horse go about 5 miles an hour, and you got to go on the other
You
side
don't
of the
even know where the
country.
mission is located. You just going around getting bounties and stuff.
It's so bad that they put an auto walk button in for the horse. Like you go, make you a snack, you come back, your horse still not really moving.
And the crazy thing is, even if you complete the main storyline, you only complete like 45% of the actual game.
Because you got to go online.
I've had the game since freshman year, and I think I'm at like 89%, and I still play it like once
I
every
think
couple
they
of
keep
months.
adding stuff. That's what it is. They added it as we playing.
I still haven't discovered the whole map yet. That's the bad part.
And that map is huge. But that brings us into our point. And I asked, like, what game has held you all's attention so much? Because I want to ask the question, why do we as men lose interest? And I'm asking for men because obviously that's all we have right here on the podcast.
Right.
But why as men do we lose interest in women nowadays so easily? And it seems as if this is something that is fairly new to our generation, because when you talk to our parents and things of that nature, like I told the story on the podcast before, my dad used to stay up and get in trouble with my grandfather for just talking to my mom on the phone for hours, and I was in middle school. So why now do we lose interest so easily?
I would say it would have to be dealing with social.
I'm so sorry to cut you off. That topic was also suggested by one of our viewers. So if you do have a topic,
Throw it at us.
listen to you.
Right. I be trying to tell you that at the end of the podcast episode, but no one be listening to me.
Hit us, man.
I'm just saying.
But to go back to what I was about to say, I would say it has to deal with a lot with social media. Because you got to think back in the day, they didn't have social media to view these other women each and every day, and they brainwash you. Now you're looking at, like, say you have a girlfriend. Now you get on social media, you see somebody better, you like, oh man, I don't even want shorty no more. I want this. So I would say social media has a lot to deal with it as well.
So you saying because us as men see more women, we now start to think, in the words of J. Cole, there's someone better than the one you got, and so that attracts you to keep on attracting to more, and not to degrade,
Yeah, not to degrade
but
it.
saying the next best thing that keeps your eye, but at the same time you can't keep your eye on the same prize, even though the next prize is shinier no matter what.
But so I kind of want to bring it back to our starter question. Imagine you're at a Blockbusters, right? Because Blockbusters is kind of like what social media for video games. There's all these different options, but you know that you can only go home with one video game. What about that one video game was like, boom, like I'm gonna keep running this one over and over and over again. No matter, I see the Madden right there, I see the 2K, see the Need for Speed, but I want this game.
Yeah. So let's compare my pick to the warm up question, Grand Theft Auto, in regards to how we're talking about keeping the attraction towards one person. When the initial picking of the game is always difficult, that's the hardest part, because you're saying you're starting something new. So you're hoping and praying that one, that game is what you think is going to be, if not better, or one, the person that you're liking and you're attracted to is going to be what you think is going to be, but better. And then once you start to play it, you now start to go through these evaluations in your head. Is it worth playing? Is it still worth talking to? And if so, when does this keep on going to where at the end of the day, I don't want to pick no other game, even though I walk in there and they have the latest and greatest Red Dead Redemption, the latest and greatest, I don't care out there, but I'm going to keep on picking that Grand Theft Auto 4 until the day I die.
Now, see, the reason why I even asked you all that warm up question is not don't cancel me. Not comparing women to video games because we don't play with emotions. But what I do want to speak on is whenever there's a video game that I'm truly involved in, I find myself involved in those video games because it's always something new to do, or it's always something exciting that's keeping me there over wanting to play 2K or something like that. And I compare that to the women who I've previously talked to in my past. It's been like there was always something new that she was bringing to the table, whether that was deep conversations, whether that was let's go try like this food spot, or let's go cook and things of that nature. It was just never a stagnant moment where it was like, all right, like this feels like I'm just playing 2K. Like I'm just running the park, doing the normal layup, trying to cross somebody. Yeah. It was always a new side mission. It was always a new way to level myself up as a character and also develop that person as well. That's where I feel like the relationship really came from, was the development. Like the relationship wasn't it wasn't just us together. It was the time that we were spending together. It was how we were growing, how we were changing together. That key moment was the relationship.
And I see that. I think for me, when I speak on that personally, it is how you said there's no dormant phase, and you're always adapting and improving. But for me, it's like proactiveness. I don't want it to be one-sided to where like saying, hey, I got to choose everything all the time. Where to go out to eat, what we going to talk about next. Right. I don't want to be leading the conversation. It shouldn't be more of a call and response, but more so of a dialogue, which is how how we're having this podcast. We're having a conversation with one another. It's let me hear what you got to say, and then let's flow with that. Not always a hey, I thought this, and let's talk about this right here. It's not a one-sided affair, but more so you're a human being, I'm a human being. We have some thoughts are completely polar and opposite from each other, and some thoughts are the same. Let's figure out what they are. Let's figure out what they aren't, and let's talk about why it is. And I think as you learn that, that's how you develop a relationship as a person goes on, and you have these relationships where these people have been married or together for 30 plus, 40 plus, 50 years, because at the end of the day, they're still learning about each other. They say that every day goes by and they learn something new, which it can be a good thing. People sometimes put that in a negative connotation, saying that, I always learn something. Yeah. Right. It doesn't have to be like that. You know, you might just say something once that might not hit that time, but then say 5 months later the same exact thing you say again, and now they see or they hear in a whole different light now, what keeps them attracted to what's going on.
And also, not to like sexualize the relationships nowadays or whatever, but I would say it's like when you go to buy a car, they let you test drive it first, right? You don't just, oh, I'm gonna get this car. Never been in it, never seen the inside of it. I feel like you gotta try them out first, and like it's this thing called after sex clarity, okay?
Call it what it is, post nut clarity.
Post nut clarity. All right, so after you have sex with somebody, you know, you get your rocks off or whatever, you know, you have this realization in your head. Like, if I can lay in bed with you after I get my rocks off or whatever, then I know, like, I can fuck with this girl. And I feel like that should be, like, a more research phenomenon. Because I feel like every dude does this. Like, you have this thought process in your head. You like, oh, man, I can't never talk to this shorty again. Immediately, I don't know where it comes from or why it happens, but you know immediately after you get your rocks off, you like, man, I can't deal with this shorty no more. And I feel like that's where a lot of losing attraction come from. Because I done that before. Like, immediately after, I'm like, yo, I can't even mess with this shorty.
So I feel like that's kind of a 50-50 split for me personally, in my opinion. Because you're absolutely right. Like, post-nut clarity is very much real. It's you have this euphoria because you're going through this dopamine event, which your body is, of course, being pleased. And then you're releasing it all. So now you're at this state of clarity and you're like thinking. And I wish I had watched the TikTok before we had gotten on here, because I would have been able to answer your question. But I do also know there's some girls who I had never had sex with, and I had probably an amazing relationship with them because it was an understanding of the mind.
But it's also, since you haven't had that sex with them, and you get this moment of clarity after you have sex, your whole relationship might change.
I don't agree. Yeah, I don't agree with that either, because the sex is just one aspect of it. Matt, put it back in the game perspective. The sex is just one game mode in that game, but you can still play different game modes in that. You still got, the like Red Dead Redemption. You have the main storyline and the side objectives and everything else. Just because one part of that game is bad doesn't mean the entire thing is bad. Everything, you're not gonna find everything that you want and need in a person at all times. I don't think so. I think you got to find a compromise for everything. And so if that one factor isn't good, depending on your weight of criteria, that might be 9% of what you want. That might be 10% of what you want.
Yeah, I was just about to say it also comes in the perspective of what are you looking for right now. Because if the sex is like what your main goal is and it's trash to you, you immediately gonna lose attraction for the person. It don't matter how good your relationship was. You might can go back to being friends. You might not, because the sex does ruin.
And that's what I was about to jump on, because it's like, imagine if you got GTA, right? But in my mind, I want a racing game. If I buy GTA and expect a racing game, I'm going to be disappointed. So it's the same way if I go to a girl and I say I don't say I just want just sex, but in my mind that's what I'm thinking about. Then when we do have sex, I don't want her anymore. But that's not what we were talking about, the relationship. That's not what we started this relationship about. So you have to, one, be honest with yourself. The worst person to lie to is yourself. And two, you need to be honest with her and just be like, look, like, I'm here for the sex. If the sex isn't good, after having my little post-nut clarity, like, you might just be gone. And I feel like that would save a lot of hurt, a lot of time, and a lot of energy on both sides, because then we're just openly expressing and everybody knows what they're there for.
Then again, nowadays, you can't really be too, well, I believe in being open. I'm just going to say anything, whatever comes to mind, I'm going to just say it. But
right here with you.
But
like I'm just
people
saying,
are afraid of being too open.
Yeah, people are afraid of being too open. Like, if you got a cool relationship with this shorty, and like y'all best of friends or whatever, but you are curious on the sex side, you want to see like what's up. Do that still, like, do you go back to being friends even though the sex is bad, even though you know?
I'm gonna be honest with you, my boy. Once I call somebody my friend, like, I'm not thinking sex with them. Like, I see them as the homie. And I love your boys, but nah, I ain't doing that. Nah, ain't doing that.
But that stuff do cross your mind. Like, not saying she like your best friend or something like that, but y'all just like cordial. and, you know, you talk to her here and there or whatever, and it just so happened to come up. Y'all just so happened to do it. And then, like, after the post now, you're like, damn. But I know that done hit y'all before, like.
So are you regretting the fact that you had sex with her, or are you like?
Yeah. Like you sort of regret the fact because y'all had a great friendship, but now you done had the sex, and it's like, where do we go from here? Type.
So, but I think that you can move past that. Like, I think
It depends on the like, female.
right, exactly, and how she carries it.
Because I think we're spending a good amount of time talking about like the sex portion of it, because that's for you. I'm saying like that is your deal breaker, right? Depending on someone's own relationship, that might be your deal breaker. Like for me, it's conversation. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot. Everyone knows me good and well that I love to talk, right? But the same way I love to talk, I really love to listen more. And so I don't want to be the one that has to keep on moderating the conversation and having to find more and more subjects.
What you doing 24/7
to go right? Because at the end of the day, I don't care who you are. The sex is only a small fraction of time of where you hang out with that other person.
Yeah, because you're not gonna be fucking all the time.
Right? Because at the end of the day, before and after, what you doing? You're talking. Yeah, you're talking while you're doing it too. So like at the end of the day. The communication is key, and that's why I love a good conversation. Like, open up my mind. Let me know what you think. Let's have a discussion. We don't have to agree, but long as you have your stance and standpoint, yeah.
Because especially because I'm not gonna say it's rare, but in my case, it's rare to come across a shorty that actually can hold a conversation, and I try to keep them like as a friend. Because I know once I cross that threshold, for me, it's like like we done crossed it, like, but it's rare to find a female that can like hold a conversation that's like more than just what you doing or what you own or.
So then that's where I have to play advocate, and I have to say that it's up to us to spark that into who we're going to talk to, because I know with the females who I talk to, right, it's like the conversations can get very, very dry, very, very quick into a standard, what are you doing, how are you doing? And this one girl, I loved it, chin checked me one day. She was just like, look, we're not about to do this. Don't talk to me like if you don't have anything important to say. Like, I'm fine. We're not in high school. Yeah, she was like, we're not in high school. Like, I'm good. Trust me. And for me, that made me so much more interested in her, because I'm like, damn, I don't have to now waste my time making sure I'm checking my phone just so I can answer your what are you doing text. But now it's like whenever we talk, it's a deep thing, or it's something like not just sub-level, it's actually meaningful.
Or like the same way like girls say it to guys, we do too. Like we say something like one small thing that we don't even notice an important detail, but they end up remembering it. That's going a long way with me. Like, oh yeah, like, they bring up a point from a long time ago. Like, we keep the conversation going. I'm like, one, that means you're paying attention. That's the first thing. So, brownie points for you. Two, that means you're keeping the conversation going on. That's not brownie points. That's good points for you, and that keeps me attracted. And so, when you have that, it's like the 48 laws of power, the law of attraction. When you see something that you like, and as long as it's persistent and consistent in doing so, that attraction trend continues to increase, and it's correlated to what's going on around you too.
But also, I'll go ahead.
Lady viewers, if you want some insight on Phaizon, just look up Silva Engineering. I promise he'll fall head over heels for you. I'm looking out for you.
Or if you want Myles, do a lot of research on anime.
And cars. If you can name what car has.
If you know what a B55 motor is, you can have my heart. I promise you.
If you don't care about it, no, hold on. Stop the mics for a second. Let me talk, okay? Let me take the damn glasses off of this real quick. No, don't worry about that. This is for Justin LeBoy, okay? He made this post talking about, I don't see why men are driving Nissan Altimas. If you watching this, everybody else don't listen. Fuck you, all right? Okay? First off, my car is paid for, all right? So I don't care you driving in that damn boat or that AK mobile. My shit paid.
My car paid for. We're not going to do that. All right. After that uncalled for, we are back on
So let's get to the nitty-gritty. What actually makes you guys like lose interest? Like, is it? Because I know it's more than just communication. I know communication is like a big one. It's other than communication. Because I used to be like superficial, like very superficial. Like I seen a shorty like her shoelaces was dirty and that like immediately turned me off.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it's
Immediately like bro, like.
I'm not even gonna hold you. One time a shawty picked me up. I got into her car. I literally thought it was like a Waffle House, like it was that dirty. And I said,
And you want to know a secret, fellas? Go in the shorty's bathroom and check underneath her sink. If that thing is mad dirty, get up out of there.
no. If her bathroom alone is dirty, get up out of
Or in
there.
the dryer.
Matter of fact, if she's dirty, get up out of there. And the same to you ladies. You should not walk into no nigga's room and feel like a roach is gonna run across you.
Yeah, I mean, this is just advice for anybody. My mom taught me best. There's two things you should always keep clean: your car and your room. Okay, and as you get older, it should be your house because you never know when someone pops up and you don't want to. Clean and clean and straighten up is two different things. Straighten up means you just put some stuff off to the side so it looks all right. Right. Clean means like everything is where it needs to be, tidy up and so forth on. So that's a big thing though. I do agree with that. And I think when we say clean, we're thinking of exterior things and also the actual body too. You know, guys, you don't have no dirt under your nails, hygiene, room. Yeah, females, you know, like we're not big on the what type of nails you got and colors and so forth and all that stuff. Like, you know,
Don't matter.
yeah, but like at the same time,
But I do like white toes.
Oh yeah.
summertime coming up now. You already know what them white toes now, man.
So what's the pettiest thing you done did that a girl has done that made you cut them off? The pettiest thing.
Like she did something and I didn't like it.
Yeah, you just like maybe stop talking to her. I would say mine. I seen like Shorty had like her AirPods was dirty.
He said that AirPod brown, it ain't white.
It was like mad earwax and stuff in there, and I opened it. I was like, nah, bro, this is not even like. I was just like chilling at my room, just touching shit. And I was like, nah, this is it. I said I gotta go back to the crib.
I'm gonna be honest, it was really that car thing. Like, I don't think y'all understand how bad the car was. I got into the car, it was open, backwood packages, cups, bro.
That's immediately no go.
Literally,
She
we got
listen-
up the street. I said, yeah, you can take me home.
She listens to Young Boy.
The back, bro.
She listens to Young Boy.
And this is the kicker. On Instagram and everything, she looks like a model. Like
That's what I'm saying. That's why the AirPods threw me for a loop.
Exactly. So when I saw the car, it said that told me so much about who she was gonna be as a person. I didn't even need to see my
Mad wow.
bro. Scared for my life.
I was trying to think of one and like I have one, but I don't know how.
Just put it out there, man. People want
Mine is like music taste, or at least how receptive you are to music.
I agree with that.
Because y'all know me, I'm a mixture. I'm more old school than anything, but
Lionel Richie.
yeah, but I can still play the new school music. Yeah, I just sent the Coil Ray album in the group chat. Hey, listen to that album. Okay, that's actually a pretty decent album. But like, if you're just a one-sided person who isn't receptive to trying new things, I guess that's a better way of putting it. Being receptive to new things, even though you might not like it or you just never done it in the first place. And one can be music, one could be trying foods, one could be watching a TV show. If you have that attraction towards somebody, you trust that they will not lead you astray in anything. Even if that is simple as picking a TV show or which turn to make on the street, to as serious to like what financial decisions y'all might make for your
I had a
life.
shorty say she don't listen to Kanye. I said, what? Nah, it was a red flag. You gotta go.
And I'm also even speak on that, and that's just like life advice. Listen to the people's taste in music, especially, and focus on what lyrics do they like, because that is their subliminal coming out or their subconscious coming out.
Summer Walker BS.
Hey, no. Because over is still over. I know. Shut up. You and your own. Don't talk about summer.
Hey, I listen to Brent Fires. I can't talk.
I would say I listen to Brent, Snow Allegra.
Okay, Snow. But you ain't gonna talk about Summer, all right?
Bro, Summer dropped 2 albums of the same song.
And guess what? I'ma still listen
Don't
to
she
it.
got a tattoo of a nigga name on her forehead? And she's talking about F niggas on the song?
Okay, well,
Back to
I just said that I liked it. I liked her. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about her actual outside the studio, what she do, but go.
yeah, it's your life, sweetheart. You know, if you want to get my name tatted, I can text it over to you, Summer Walker. Shout me out.
Yeah, Don Fetty, Fetty, Phaizon.
Get your own girl.
Hey, no, Kev will get his own
Matter of
girl.
fact, you can have her. Rihanna, I'm still waiting on you.
After baby?
It don't matter.
Rihanna's Rihanna. Pre baby, post baby, during baby, after baby.
Me and ASAP cool, bro. Don't worry
I was
about
about
me.
to say something else. I don't care about ASAP shit.
Bro, don't worry about me, Kevo. Man, back to podcast. I'm about to get hot up in here.
I might want. I don't know. I'm in the middle of a firefight right now. I might need to get up and go. I don't know about this one.
So, but back to about being interested, right? Like, in a perfect world, obviously this is idealist thinking, right? Utopia thinking. What would be something that a girl does that would automatically have you like, wow, like I can really see some longevity in this relationship? Like, not just her liking certain things, but like, what am I trying to find to say? Meaning, like, what can she bring to the table? For Phaizon, it's conversations. For you, it's good sex. But I'm saying, yes, those are. See, there we go. That's what I'm trying to
It's
say.
like healthy, like consistently like goes to the gym. Like it's like health is a big thing for them. Everybody know I'm a health freak.
Kevo used to be in the gym with me, but then he left me.
Mm.
Still be in the gym now. I don't know what
Whoa, I go to the gym at 2 o'clock. Where
I
are you?
go 5.
Yeah, 2. I get my work in early.
I get
Okay.
it in when it counts.
I go in at 6 in the morning.
All right, firefight about to start. Miami all over again.
Oh, I really gotta get out of here.
But yeah, I like a health freak type shorty.
Hey, all right, so I had to look at the law of attraction because I knew that I didn't say it.
Go ahead and spit that.
Yeah, verbatim. But it says the law of attraction is philosophical, suggesting that positive thoughts bring positive results into a person's life, while negative thoughts bring negative outcomes. It is based on the belief that thoughts are a form of energy and that positive energy attracts success in all areas of life, including health, finances, and relationships. And so I like that definition because it's very broad and that you can put in any aspect. And so, one, if the person that you are attracted to is giving out via their words, their actions, their appearance, anything, when they're giving out things of good, you're attracted to that. When they start to basically regurgitate the negative outwards, and then they start to now disapprove that, and so that attraction that was there at first starts to basically the fire starts to go out. And so either you say something to talk about that fire going out, which I think is a big part. If you're starting to lose that attraction, do you say that, or do you just keep on letting that attraction start to fade away? Because that might be the killer sometimes. When what happens at the end of a relationship is that, hey, during the past 6 months, things started to go downhill. But did you do your job, or do you think that it was part of your job to say something during that 6 month period before you got to the 6 months to say, hey, I just don't feel you anymore?
So that's where I've learned that communication is key, because for me, y'all know how I am. I'm blunt. Like, if I don't like something, I just tell you I don't like it, and I'll say it how I feel is right. But that's not right. So I've really been learning how to properly communicate with different people. And with that being said, I think it all depends on the relationship. Meaning, if you are in a heat of an argument and you know that the person that you're talking to might be sensitive, maybe you need to walk away and then reapproach it later and then say, hey, you're doing this and it's kind of like pushing me away from you. I still want to pursue this relationship with you, so I think that we need to work on this. If they're receptive to it, great. If they're not, find another way to approach it. Like, maybe if it was Kevo, right, and his girl stopped going to the gym, maybe you start bringing some workout equipment home and working out, like when she's there, and saying like, hey, like, try this with me, woo, woo, blah, blah, blah. try to get her engaged that way. I definitely don't think the approach of harboring it inside of you is the best one, because that by far is just going to lead like insane.
Oh yeah, I was just talking about how I gotta work on myself for being just straight up blunt with a shorty. Like when shorty start talking about, oh, you need to start doing this, or I'm leaving you, I'm just let them go. I don't care how good the relationship was or whatever we was doing. I'm gonna just let you go because I believe in if it was meant for me, it would be for me. I'm not finna go. I don't believe in full on sprinting chasing after someone. If they don't want to be there, they don't want to be there.
Bro, I seen this quote, and y'all might hate me for it, but it said, "I like my shawties like I like my liquor. I don't chase." And that shit to me hit, cause it's facts. It's like, why? Like my but seriously, like my father told me that at an early age. He was like, go after the ones who want you. Like, don't go after.
I'm not finna waste my time chasing after you. Now you got I don't know, like a sense of control over
Yeah, like you always had that leverage over my head. Like now I'm fiending. Now I feel like Will Smith. Like I always gotta walk up on stage and slap him.
Yeah, well, no, even to that Will Smith, what I sent y'all earlier today when it was saying, you see how, basically I sent Myles and Kevo a post from Instagram, and somebody was saying when the man loves the woman more, you see that the relationship starts to dissolve from the inside out, and they were comparing it to Will and Jada, which is a very extreme example, I think we can say, but with that, we can also see that when one person is basically feeding into the relationship and giving it its all, and the other is just basically riding the coattails and responding instead of starting, then you see when things start to mess up, and then now starts to bring the problems. And now, if you look at their relationships, you see that the problems happen later on. They've been together since the 90s. That's 30 years basically that they done put into each other, and now you're realizing, unless maybe we're just realizing that things are starting not to look too good, and so you don't want to waste 30 years of feeling that way or making someone else feel that way. So say that stuff early, there's no attraction, or that attraction starts to wither, because then you start to waste each other's life.
Man, my last statement is, it's this quote, and I was about to grab my phone, but it's in my heart so much I don't even need to read it. It says, do not tell people who you love, do not tell people where you're traveling to, do not tell people what your next business venture is, because people love to ruin a good thing. And I look at their relationship, they might have a great relationship behind closed doors, but in the media's eyes, we despise it because it's not normal to us, so we call it weird and we call them out and things of that nature. But who are we to judge their relationship? So don't let somebody else judge your relationship either.
Okay. All right. Well, I like that last point. My last point then would be a song. It's an old school song. So you want to listen to it, go ahead and listen to it. But it's one of the saddest, man.
Seduction?
No, ain't no. Your stuff about sex, okay? You little horn dog. Damn. All right.
That's a great song.
It is a great song, but that ain't my song. My song is "Just the Way You Are" by Barry White. Okay, that man got one of the smoothest voices in the world. But I think the best way to the male or the female listener, the best way to figure out if someone is for you or you are for someone is just be the way you are. Because you can't hold that facade up but for so long. And once you let that guard down, they're going to see your true colors of just the way you are.
I guess my final point would be, man, don't chase.
Right.
Yeah, post nut clarity. Make sure you test drive. But also, make sure, bro, do not chase, bro. Do not chase. If shorty don't want to be with you, don't waste your time, bro. She'll come back if she's meant for you. That's all I got to say.
Well, alrighty then. As always, this is not the conversation ender, but the conversation starter. Please continue this conversation with us on the Instagram page. Keep it going with the people that you're listening to this podcast with. Share it with someone who should listen to this conversation. Share it to the one person that you're attracted to, and start the conversation that needs to be had but may not want to be had.
And matter of fact, if you agree with what we said, even if it was one thing, share it with 3 people.
Yes, do that.
Tag the Cozy Town page when you do it.
Right. Just do that, man. We do these things because we wanted to keep this conversation going, no matter what's the conversation at hand. Funny, intellectual, just straight up, just hood ratchet shit. I don't care what it is, man. Everything that we say with a purpose and for a reason. And so that's just our way of just saying thank you for being a continuous listener to this podcast. I think this is our 17th episode, which is one of my
1738.
Okay, well, okay.
Hey.
That's funny. That's one of my favorite numbers, and then that's Fetty Wap, and I'm also known as Don Fetty. But yeah, you see how I did all that, man. Quick, hey man, you already know, man. Bricks. We from this podcast, we really just want to say thank you for listening, thank you for encompassing, trusting us with, spending about 40 minutes of your time listening to three of us talk. Sometimes we might not say things that you agree with, but we say things that we feel like we want to say. We all have the right to do so, but you have the right to listen as well.
Or better yet, you might not agree with it, but that's still good because you're opening up the conversation. You're having the conversation that's much needed.
Yeah, exactly. And so from the Open Door Podcast and Cozy Times, we say, as always, be blessed.
Whoa. Pump your brakes.
What I say?
The cozy moment.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to go
It's
first.
an imposter.
Imposter.
This is not.
Get
This
him out of here.
is
This guy stinks.
new 1017 Fetty.
I don't have a cozy moment. I've been pissed off all week.
Dang, I forgot the cozy moment.
Nah. I would say, my cozy moment this morning, I got a great prayer session in this morning. I meditated after to clear my mind because I've been ticked off already this week, and the week just begun. But had a great prayer this morning, man, and, did a little meditation.
Amen. Two things. One, I finally got my allergy medicine. And like the Claritin commercial said, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone.
People who are allergic to pollen is a myth.
Okay. Anyway, and my second cozy moment, is I listened to, Denzel was one of my favorite actors, and he had an interview I was listening to on YouTube. And it was actually pretty inspiring to hear from him and all the motivational things he had to say. And so that was like kind of a pick-me-upper for the midway through the week to keep pushing on in the midst of this Aggie Fest festivities.
My cozy moment would be, this is Aggie Fest, and so there was day parties. What day was that? I want to say Saturday? No, Sunday. There was a day party on Sunday. For those who don't live in North Carolina does not sell liquor on Sundays. I mean, as they should. But there's no liquor. So we're going off of straight energy and vibes. And we literally went from one day party to another day party to another party. And it was Zari's birthday, and we ended at XO. When I say I've never had Jamaican food that was that good at a club, that joint was busting. Shout out XO. We not getting paid, but shout out XO for that meal.
Man, at least he had a better Sunday than me. I had the cold. Yeah. Well, now I'm actually at the right part of the podcast now. From everybody on the Open Door Podcast and Cozy Times, we say be blessed.
Don't stress.
And stay cozy.